the standard form and so on. All right. Yes.
So I don't understand what the difference between standard form and turning form is.
The equations are different if you see them.
It's just a different formulation. It's the same.
Okay. All right. Turning point form is y equal to a times x plus p squared plus q. This is called the turning point form. If you read some books, they call it the vertex form. But for your curriculum, we just call it the turning point form. Then we have the standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the standard form. Okay? Then we also have the X-Intercept form, which is y equals a times x minus x1 times x minus x2. Now, that's called the turning point form because x1 and x2, these two here, they are the X-intercepts. Okay? They will be given for such a scenario. Okay, so I'm still on the turning point form. Please, I'm still on the turning point. And we are probably in the middle of the quadratic function. I have to talk about lots of things about it. Okay, so I'm doing step by step. Yes.
So, which one do you use? This one or the last one?
We are still on number one. We are still on number one is the turning point form.
The last one is what?
X-intercept form. So we have number two standard form. Number three is the X-intercept form. Are you following that? You have to be familiar with all three because the questions come in different ways. All right. So let's find the equation of number one. All right. Now, to find the equation, first thing, you write your turning point form equation. That is y equals a times x plus p squared plus q. Right? We want to determine the value. What is a, what is p, what is q. Okay? And I'll also connect the relationship between the turning point form and the standard form. So here, we are given a point where x is minus 3, y is 9. We are also given a turning point. That is the value of p here. Please take note that if it's like this, the value of x here is going to be minus 1. Right? If the value of x is minus 1 there, remember, I told you that if the general form is in the standard form, so rather the turning point form, your x at the turning point is equal to minus p. Alright? So you pay attention there. So our x here is negative 1, which means if I substitute x equal to negative 1, the p is going to become what? Positive 1. Okay? But q is going to be equal to 1. So I need to calculate the value of a. I need to calculate what a is. To calculate a, I need to substitute a point where I know the y value and I also know the x value. So I need to substitute an x value here and a y value there. And that point is that. Alright? I can't find a directly from the information that's provided, so I have to calculate a. But I can find p, which I found is what? 1. I can determine q, which is what? 1. So I'll substitute 4 values to calculate a. First one that I'll substitute is y, which is 9. A is the one that I want to calculate. X is equal to negative 3. My p is 1. Okay? I determined it. Please remember, you have to memorize this. That's the value of x at the turning point. Okay? X is minus 1, therefore p is going to be equal to positive 1. Then my q is a 1. Then you simplify this. Remember, this is squared. We want to calculate the value of a if we were to find the equation. Okay? So this will be 9 equal to a times minus 3 plus 1. That will give us minus 2, right? And then you get 9 equal to 4a, because minus 2 squared is going to give you a positive 4. 4 times a will give you 4a plus 1. Now we have a grade 8 equation. Okay? You take the 1 to the left, you get 8 equal to 4a. Now, you are also supposed to use common sense. Do you see that this graph has got a minimum turning point? Do you all see that? So, is the value of a supposed to be positive or negative if the quadratic function has a shape like this?
Positive.
It's supposed to be positive. So, you must use common sense. Right? So, a here is going to be 2. Okay? Once you finish that, I'm going to connect now the turning point form and the standard form. Okay? I'm going to connect the two. So I'm going to substitute now. My value of a is 2. I don't need to substitute y, because remember, the question says find the what? The equation. So where there is y, I put y. Where there is a, I'll put 2. Where there is x, I'll put x. Where there is p, I'll put 1. So that will be x plus 1 squared. Where there is q, I'll put 1. So this is the equation of this graph in turning point form. Okay? But I can go further, okay, and remove brackets so that I can rewrite it in standard form. Yes.
So I have two questions. The first question, when they're asking us to find the equation of a parabola, are they always going to give us like coordinates? So like, for example, you can tell, will there ever be a question where there's just a diagram and coordinates?
Well, my answer to you is this. There are many scenarios. There's one scenario like the one that we have here, whereby you're given a point such that we know the x value, we know the y value. We're also given the coordinate of the turning point. Other cases, you can have x-intercepts being given. We haven't got them. I was saying, so we're doing it step by step.
And my second question, I understand how you got P. What's the root of Q? Is Q always equal to P?
Yes.
So how did you get Q?
Q is not equal to P.
How did you determine that Q?
You see, Q is the value of y at the turning point. So here, what is the value of y? 1. The way you determine Q is easy as compared to the way you determine P.
So P is equal to
Now, P is a little bit more complex to determine. So you can make a mistake of putting P equal to minus 1 when it's positive and so on. So remember this equation here. Are you following? Right? So let's write this in standard form. Yes. The value of Q is the value of y at the turning point here. It's very straightforward. It's equal to 1. But P is slightly more complex because because it involves horizontal shift, which is a little bit more complex. Right, so let's remove brackets here. So this will be 2 times x plus 1 times x plus 1 plus 1. I am going to rewrite the equation. Okay, I could have stopped here, but I'm going to go further and write the equation in standard form. Our standard form is this one here, number 2. That's standard form, right? So this becomes y equal to 2. This will give you x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus 1. Then you remove the brackets, get 2x squared plus 4x plus 2 plus 1. And the final equation will be y equal to 2x squared plus 4x plus 3. So this is the same as that. Later, I'll show you how to move from the standard form to the turning point form. There is a connection. Turning point form, standard form, turning point form. There is a connection. just to remind you, this topic is very, very important. Okay? This topic is extremely important. This one now, we are only given the turning point. But the good thing is, please be aware that the graph is passing through the origin. Okay? Passing through the origin. When you are doing a question like this, always, the turning point has to be given, and one other point along the graph must be provided. Right? So, first, you write your turning point form, the equation of the turning point form is y equals a times x plus p squared plus q. Remember, to calculate or to determine q, it's easy. P is slightly more complex, right? So we know that x is equal to minus p. What is the value of x at the turning point? 2. So we put 2 here. What this means is that P is going to be negative 2. Right? Now it's very important for you to determine P correctly. Our Q is very straightforward. It's minus 1. Q is the value of y here at the turning point, which is minus 1. P is not 2. P is negative 2. Okay, be aware of it. P is going to be negative 2. So you can easily make a mistake here. And I'm saying this from experience, right? You can easily make a mistake there of that sign, right? So now that I've determined P, I've determined Q, I can now substitute. So at this point, X is 0. Okay, let me use a different color. X is 0 there. Y is also 0. Therefore, when I write my equation Y, okay, let me substitute. So y is going to be 0. I want to calculate a, x is going to be 0, right? My p is negative 2, then you square that. My q is negative 1. Now, before I carry on, is the value of a supposed to be positive or negative? Based on the shape, supposed to be positive. So when I do my calculation, I must get a positive answer because the graph is happy. It has got a smiley face. Okay? Therefore, when I calculate a, I must get a positive value. So I'll take that minus 1 to the left, then simplify the inside here. So minus 2 squared, that will give me 4. So I can just let me write that. Yes, 4a. Then you divide both sides by 4, you get 1 over 4. So the value of a is a positive, a quarter. Yes.
So use zeros to substitute for substitute.
Yes, because the graph passes through the origin.
Yeah, but so are you, with all respect, are you saying that because you can see it passes through or because
Okay. It's not because I can see. The graph is drawn passing through the origin.
So if you can see the line is going through, it's passing through. You know what I'm asking you, sir.
Okay. Let's not
Like
complicate
two
things.
lines, like you can see, like if you can see the two lines are parallel, but it doesn't say. Now you write that as a rule, they're parallel. Same like what you
That's, don't confuse geometry and this.
Because I'm
Yeah.
so it doesn't state.
Yeah. It won't state that x is 0 here, y is 0. You are expected to know that since this is the origin where the two x's intersect, the value of x is 0, y is 0. That won't be specified. It's, I would say it's basic knowledge that you have to know with regard to the Cartesian. Alright? Are you following? Then, now we want to find the equation. So I'll substitute y. So as it is, a, I'll put a quarter. X, I'll put x. P is negative 2, so that will be negative 2 squared. And Q is minus 1. So this is the turning point form. I can go further and simplify. Okay? You can stop here. I'm going to go further. So this becomes y equal to a quarter times x minus 2 times x minus 2 minus 1. Then this becomes a quarter. That will be x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus 1. Then I'm going to multiply everything by a quarter. So you get 1 over 4x squared okay, minus x plus 1 minus 1. Right, now this is quite interesting because we're going to get an equation which will be a quarter x squared minus x. That will be the equation. Okay, let me underline it. So this will be the equation. It will be a quarter x squared minus x. So you stop there. You see, there is no y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0. That's why the equation is a binomial. It's a binomial because the graph is passing through the origin. Yes.
So the way we saw.
We could have stopped here for this part that you are doing. But I said earlier, I'm going to connect the relation between the turning point form and the standard form. So I'll carry it over. Yes.
So can we just like basically write the thing that it's not a specific standard or something, just any equation?
No. The equation must be in a specific form. Either turning point form, standard form. Generally, we don't use the X-intercept form. The X-intercept form is used to determine the equation of a given graph. Like how we used to do in grade 10. I'm calculating A or Y. To calculate A from here, you need to know P. You need to know Q. The good thing is Q is easy. You get it from the value of Y at the turning point. P is a little bit tricky. It has got an opposite sign to the one that's at the turning point. So if there is positive 2 here, means P is going to be what? Negative 2. If there was a negative 2, then P will be positive 2. It will be the opposite in terms of the sign. Following that, then you also need a point along the graph where you substitute a y value and an x value to calculate A. You can never calculate A, or you can never determine A by inspection. You can't determine A by inspection. There has to be a calculation that you do. Okay. Don't forget, last year you did quadratic function, and you were determining the value of A by calculation. Yes.
So you determine Q by inspection, like
Yes.
they gave us the units. But what if they gave us like the coordinates for that lines that was somewhere else that was not equal to Q? How would it be Q? Because you wouldn't be able to see one.
Okay.
You understand what I'm asking?
Right. For now, here, we have to be given the coordinate of the turning point.
So I'm asking
We are going to get to a case where the coordinates of the turning point are not given. That's a different aspect now, which I will talk about later. No, it's a good question. You see, we are doing it step by step, right? We have started with the turning point form. We are going to connect it with the standard form, and later X-intercept form, right? So, is there anybody who's got another question before I carry on?
How do you know that it's possibly origin?
Because the graph is passing through the origin.
How do you know?
It's given.
What is close to the origin? Yes.